Hi, today I want to discuss everything I do to keep my reading organized. So let's head over to my computer because I first want to show you all the lists that I keep in Excel. The first list that I keep is a TBR, to be read list. Here I list all of the books that I still want to read. And I specifically created one for this year, so I hope to have read all of these books by the end of the year. The next list I keep is about the books that I have finished reading. So every year I start a new list, and this is the one from this year. I write down the title of the book, the author, and then my rating if I want to give the book a rating. Then I also keep a list of the books that I physically own in my library. I also have a list of classics that I have read and still want to read. So I have listed all the classics that I still want to read and that I have read. And then on the left side, I mark with an X if I've read them or not. And then I also have a couple of lists for special projects. For example, French literature and everything that I still want to read and so on. So very personal projects. The second thing I do is I keep a second brain through Notion. So Notion is a free app that I use, and it kind of serves as a digital reading journal. I have a physical one, and this is my digital one. This is where I keep reviews, favorite quotes, and so on. I prefer using Excel and Notion instead of Goodreads. I do have a Goodreads account and I keep it up to date, but I'm not really active on the platform. I just type in the books that I read, and there it ends. Next up is my reading journal. I love journaling. I've been journaling since I was a little girl, and I have stacks and stacks of journals in a box. And there's something magical about just putting your thoughts on paper instead of doing it digitally. So I prefer writing about my books in my reading journal. At the end of my reading journal, I have a section for my favorite quotes from the books I read. So whenever I finish a book, I sit down with the book and my reading journal and I just copy my favorite quotes that I marked, which leads me to the next thing that really helps me in keeping everything organized, which is using tabs. So I use these sticky notes, and whenever something stands out, I just put a sticker on the passage or on the quote, and then I can easily return to it later, or I can at the end when I finish the book sit down with it and just go over all the sticky notes. If you like the idea of writing about the books that you read, which I highly recommend, but you don't want to bring a reading journal everywhere you go, you can also use these cards, and you can, for example, pick 5 cards and put them randomly between the pages. And then whenever an idea comes up or you want to write down something, you could just pick the card from between the pages and write. What I also do is sometimes there's a section at the end of the book with footnotes. To make things a bit easier for myself, I put a second bookmark where the footnotes start, or I put a sticky note at the start, and then I can easily switch between the text and the footnotes. If you're interested in knowing more about all the different journals that I keep, you can watch this video here.